Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to the Monday Morning Recap. Everybody coming at you live, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. I've had a few drinks. And
Back to our regular scheduled timing.
I feel like I deserve that. As always, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros doubles your first deposit up to $1,000. And let's face it, kids, we're going to have to reload after this weekend. Everybody's bracket is busted. It's busted. Man, a lot of Pray for Bob messages in Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook and all that other stuff. I don't look at this as a Pray for Bob sitch in this one losing to a 15 seed like Princeton. I just look at that as the tournament. The tournament itself has been all upsets the entire way, pretty much.
I didn't catch that game. I spent the weekend bringing myself joy. I watched a 1993 performance of Les Miserables on Broadway. I had a cassette tape I found in an old library. Yeah. Obviously, I rewatched Spielberg's West Side Story.
Classic.
A couple Bye Bye Birdie productions. I did it in high school, and it was just really,
and so I'm. You also ran back Banshees of Inisherin.
Of course, I watched Banshees of Inisherin, but I'm more on a musical kick right now. Look, sports are out. Sports are very 20th century.
Sure.
I'm a musical guy now. That's where I get my joy from.
Who'd you play in Bye Bye Birdie?
I was just the mayor. Didn't have a big role. I can't sing, right? So in the musicals, you're pretty limited.
Yeah.
When you can't sing and dance.
Yeah, when you can't sing and dance.
I got better roles in the plays.
Tree.
Yeah.
You end up being a tree where you just kind of stand there and hang. No, but in all sincerity, because people were like, "Oh, you guys are going to go yard and bob today." No, this is exactly what we said a week ago before this tournament even started. I don't know who's going to win. None of these teams are very good, and
it happens every year, though. Like last year, literally, St. Pete.
This is the third 15 seed in a row to make the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
right.
St. Pete made the Elite Eight last year.
But before that, guys, we were looking at the same teams every fucking year, and we're no longer doing that.
The 12-5 is dead.
Yes. So you guys host the college basketball show.
13-4 now.
What is going on in college basketball that all these teams suck? Because I look at Alabama. Alabama looked like dog shit this weekend.
Maryland's good. Maryland's
fine.
They're okay.
They can give you a game. They can punch up. Maryland can punch up.
They're okay. Brandon Miller walked in with 2 armed guards, scored 0 points in 19 minutes, opening game.
San Diego State's
going
to give them problems.
San Diego State's going to give them a ton of
I think San Diego State would win.
Because they got a good defense.
Yeah.
I think San Diego State will win that game, actually.
Maybe he needs to kill another girl.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Just to kind of even it out.
He's got the itch now, and he can't think about basketball while there's murder on his mind.
The SEC's had a murderous offseason so far, and good for them. Good for them,
They are the conference with the most teams in the Sweet 16 this year.
Are they really?
They have 4. Big 12 has 2. Big 10 has 1. Maybe the Big East has 3, I think.
I like surprising stuff, but I haven't really enjoyed this so far. I like to see really good teams matching up, and that's not what it's been. It hasn't been like, oh, this team is way better than we thought, and we beat this team. It's like this team that we thought was good, it looks like shit.
Yeah, well, and you also get a lot of teams that are getting matchup problems. They're catching,
that always happens, though.
Yes, they're catching teams that on paper they're better than, right? They do this or like they're ranked this or whatever, but it's like Bama catching San Diego State in this current round. Like that's happened basically every round. Like in the first round, for example, Furman, terrible matchup for Virginia. For Virginia. Virginia's got a great defense, but Furman is like the best 2-point shooting team in the country. So like you can try to limit their possessions, but every one of their possessions is good. So then if you have a team that always has good possessions or like efficient possessions, then you need to have more possessions to score more points, and you just don't play like that. It's a fucking nightmare.
Or it's just the tournament, man.
You have to shoot more threes, something. You have to make up for that difference somehow.
Yeah.
There's been great games.
There has been great games.
No.
Texas Penn State was awesome.
I'm not saying there haven't been great games.
It's not that there hasn't been great games. There's just no great teams.
Yeah, there have been isolated great games. There's probably like fucking 4 or 5 great games so far.
I mean, Furman, Virginia was
really
incredible.
There's great teams. Houston came back and just dominated.
Houston is the only one that looks like they've got a shot at really just cruising through this thing.
Houston was up by 3 over Northern Kentucky at halftime.
Yeah, but that happens sometimes. Sometimes you phone in a bad half, but they won the second half by 10 without even really trying.
And Sasser wasn't really playing. No. He did see the floor, but I don't think he played very much.
But you always have to be concerned with Houston missing a bunch of threes, like going 6 for fucking 90 from 3. and
Right.
losing the
Right.
game,
Or just a
but-
bunch of shots in general.
Yeah. 'cause
Also, Arkansas is pretty good. They beat Kansas.
they did, but Kansas
And,
was also missing their coach. He had 2 stints put in his heart. Bill
Right.
Self is a big part of that program.
It is, but Arkansas also was injured pretty much all year.
And they're just an inconsistent team. So I told you I picked Arkansas to beat Kansas in the second round, and the reason is that
Did you cause Bill Self to have heart issues?
I hope so. I
saw-
mean, I put it out I've been putting it out in the world every day for a decade.
You've been manifesting.
Yeah.
I had Arkansas going pretty far as well for the simple reason of they have these athletes
Yes.
who are very long. They can jump out of the gym, but they're very, very inconsistent. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah. So when
You're going to see violent fouls, weird shots. Like it seems like street basketball versus like a team. I don't think they could win it all, but they're certainly good enough for upsets here and there.
and on you catch them on a bad day for you, good day for them. Like you're fucked. Like
Yes.
you're,
Yeah.
UConn's really good. Creighton's really good. They're underseeded, but it's because they had little, kind of bumps in the road during the regular season.
UConn
Like
had-
Creighton,
I honestly,
UConn was my dark horse, and I said that at the start of the tournament.
but Creighton lost, I think, at one point like 7 straight. But they got shit together, and they have maybe one of the best starting 5s in the country.
They looked great over the weekend.
yeah, they did.
Texas
really
probably
good.
would have been a 1 seed too if it hadn't been for all that shit with their coach.
They probably would have won an extra game or two. I would say for sure.
Well, I mean, I think the reason that they got seeded at 2 instead of, I guess because they were 5th ranked in the country at the time, but the reason for that wasn't performance, I don't think. I think it was because some expectation that the coach not being there was going to be a big deal.
It
Right.
could be because they will seed that way. I think.
Yeah.
And I don't care how good Purdue is. You should never make them a 1
Never,
seed.
ever
Never
bet
trust
Purdue.
Purdue. Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Oh my
Especially-
God.
Yeah.
You fuck with anything Painter does, and he gets rattled.
The news I read, I don't know how true it is over the weekend, was basically that Matt Painter, like his players kind of hate. They have a traveling team psychiatrist with them, and the reason is
God.
it's super stressful to play for him because he makes his players memorize 250 plays.
Which
There aren't 250 plays you can run on a basketball.
in the game of basketball,
There's only
there should,
fucking 5
yeah.
dudes
there
out
should
there.
be no 250
There aren't
plays.
200 plays in a fucking NFL playbook. You probably have 25 offensive plays in an NFL playbook.
No, there's a lot. You're in the into the hundreds in the
There
NFL. but
are fucking alt and choice routes and RPOs and all that stuff, but the general formation, there's like 25 plays.
So here's what I couldn't figure out when I was watching that game. You have a guy that's 7'5", who actually has a body on him. He's a big guy.
And can shoot free throws.
Can shoot free throws, pretty good foot movements. Why weren't they just dumping it down to him every single play?
Because they were getting pressed the entire game.
Well, so by the way, speaking of how Purdue fucks you every way possible, if you bet the over on Zach Edey points, which you should have hit because not only is Fairleigh Dickinson a bad team, they're the shortest team in the country, and Purdue is literally the tallest team in the country.
Right.
He got to 21 points with like 7-ish minutes left in the game.
But again, they pressed the entire game.
He never touched the ball or never took a shot again.
But that's what you need to do because college kids, for whatever reason, if you put any pressure on them to bring the ball up, they shit their pants.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
they can't handle it.
that starts as a kid. So like when you do full court press like that, even growing up, it's tough. Your mind's just not prepared for it, and it's so much extra work, and you're exhausted. But so is the defense as well. What I was surprised is that they were able to keep up with a 7'5" guy the entire time at a good pace like that.
Well,
and press
he's
the
going to get
entire game.
exhausted.
Yeah, oh yeah,
He's a fucking giant oaf.
yes. But they did it the entire game, and it was very effective. And I'm surprised they didn't tire out those guys. It was a great performance all the way around from those guys. And
then FAU gets the easiest second-round matchup ever.
God, you hate them so much. I know.
They suck.
No.
FAU's not good.
They're Sweet 16 bound.
I do appreciate, though, the guy trying to throw down the 360 windmill dunk at the end.
yeah, it was great.
Fuck
funny.
sportsmanship.
I don't
Who cares?
I don't
Yeah, same
understand
here.
why people get butthurt about stuff like that.
I don't either.
The game is over.
It's over.
Like the argument being made is the game is over. You shouldn't try to embarrass them. And that would be the case if he was like jacking up threes or something. But the game was effectively over, and he's just trying to go down and do something athletic for the fans on the other end of the court. Shut up and quit your bitching, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Take your fucking
My only
ball and go
problem
home.
is he missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
miss it.
So he the universe policed it. right?
Right.
The universe policed it.
Yeah,
You don't
but
even need to be mad.
But if I was at like a fucking Warriors playoff game and they were getting ready to lose to, let's say, the Pelicans, and Zion comes down the court with 3 seconds left and he just does the most athletic shit I've ever seen, I'm not gonna be like, oh, quit it. No, it's a fucking, and it's gladiatorial arts, right?
Right.
We're trying to see fucking grown men compete against each other at the most extreme athletic, or at the heights of athleticism. So why not fucking throw one last one in?
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know,
Like, fuck
but
off. I don't care about that shit. It's not like you can't compare it to other sports either. Like the NFL, a guy's still throwing touchdown passes when it's going on. I mean, maybe you run the ball a little bit more. Or if it's baseball, maybe don't steal third base like Michael Jordan used to do.
Right.
When he played a brief stint in baseball. But this is the literal end of the game.
I mean,
it was the last play of the game.
There's somebody to be mad at. It's the TCU player who hit a 3 with 0.7 seconds left to cover.
Oh, did you see the video of that from the casino?
And it wasn't a cover like the spread was 6. It wasn't the spread like 14
It was
or
4.
some shit?
No, the spread was 4.
4.5.
And it was
4.5,
they were down by 6. He hits the 3. They lose by 3.
Yeah.
Hey,
know.
he
It's
wanted
crazy.
to cover that spread.
He wanted to cover, dude. He's got money on it.
And he did. He kind of went like this, like, "What's up? Like,
He
are
knew.
you not entertained?"
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
But as far as the opening round goes, this was Thursday's game. Alabama, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi didn't cover. Houston, Northern Kentucky didn't cover. Colgate versus Texas didn't cover.
The 20 didn't cover?
Did not.
Okay.
It was 21 and just missed. Princeton, Arizona didn't cover.
Don't bet on teams minus 22.
Hey, I'm with you.
You
And
need to.
I did not.
You need to bet dogs all the way in the first round. Except, I have a buddy who does this every year. He essentially bets the dog in every game at money line except the 8-9 games.
Okay, so well, to your point, Oral Roberts Duke didn't cover. Furman, Virginia didn't cover. Penn State, Texas A&M didn't cover.
Well, Penn State won.
What's that?
Penn State won.
So did Furman, yeah.
Yeah, so did Furman. But again, the favorites didn't cover. Like these are all dogs here, going all the way down on the list. Louisiana, Tennessee didn't cover. Missouri covered. Actually, so
We were dogs,
Yay.
so that didn't cover though.
And that's-
But the favorite didn't cover in that game because we were dogs in that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. Against Utah State, you guys
Yeah,
were
we
dogs?
were like 3
Yeah,
or 4 point dogs.
2-point dogs.
2 point dogs.
Yeesh,
Okay.
dude.
because I took Utah State.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
In
then
spite
took
of
them
you.
live.
In
Yeah.
spite of you, yeah.
Yeah. Why? I told you to bet Princeton.
Why
man.
did you want to do it live too, and just kept? Yeah, Dan. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. I had Princeton in my Calcutta, who's just been a cash machine for me because I spent $50 on him in
Okay.
a $17,000 pot.
All right.
So they're making me money hand over fist.
Who's your 4 left in your Calcutta?
So I bought 5 teams. I ended up spending $1,800,
$1,800.
and
okay.
I got UCLA,
Okay.
Creighton, Texas, Princeton, and then I had Louisiana. Louisiana for like $60.
You had
Louisiana
Princeton. Why'd you have Princeton?
lost. I
Because
accidentally.
they always overachieve in the
no,
fucking...
They
no.
don't.
That-
This is the second win ever.
Ever.
That was an honest mistake.
Since
I thought
1967.
I was bidding. I saw like PR, and I thought it was Providence. So I just put in the bid before I read the full name. So that was a total accident.
Happy accidents.
Happy
Yeah.
accident, yeah. And then Friday's games, Fairleigh Dickinson. Oh, boy. Purdue didn't cover. Grand Canyon versus Gonzaga, dude, didn't cover in that one. UConn was fine. Baylor was
No.
fine.
Gonzaga covered.
Uh,
They won by 22, right?
No, they won by
12.
12. They only won by 12.
Oh.
That was a close game. I watched
Yeah.
most of that game. It was pretty close. They did not cover in that one. Xavier didn't cover. Kansas State did not cover. Drake in Miami did not cover. I mean, it's fucking endless, dude. Like
Yeah, but why are you taking
Arizona
favorites?
State, TCU. No, I mean just for Vegas and Vegas in general. So the reason I'm getting to this is they had a record weekend. This was the highest in the tournament's opening weekend as far as money
Good.
that Vegas made this weekend.
Good. Let the squares lose money.
Yeah.
Total suckers.
Pittsburgh, Iowa State, and then it went all the way on down the line here.
Anyone who thought Iowa State was going to win that game deserves to lose their fucking house.
Listen, they beat Baylor twice at the end of the year.
I don't care.
He was all about
care.
Iowa
He's
State.
a fucking mess.
They were. They're terrible.
But now we're on to the Sweet 16 here, and we're starting to get back to, I feel, a little bit of normalcy here, what it feels like. So Thursday night's games, Michigan State versus Kansas State. That's up first.
I didn't have any faith in Kansas State.
I didn't have any faith in Michigan State, and I did not bet on them this weekend. I don't know why I bet against Tom Izzo. It's dumb. He's only missed the Sweet 16 once or something in 27 years. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous.
He loses more recently than anything. Like when UCLA made their Final Four run, they beat Michigan State in a first four matchup as an 11 seed, on a Tuesday game or whatever. Look, Tom Izzo is a great coach, but he did have the benefit of playing a Shaka Smart team in the second round.
People love Shaka Smart.
I do too, and I think he's good fit for Marquette. But I guess at one point during a timeout in like the second half, people saw that Shaka Smart wasn't even like doing plays or anything. He was just leading his team in a breathing exercise.
And that is true, by the way. So they were breathing in a loss, and that was a little shocking to see on live television.
They went on a 10-0 run after, I think.
0-10.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't score a point there.
They're all out of breath and shit.
But one of these teams is going to move on, and I didn't have either of a Michigan State or Kansas State.
I feel dumb not picking Kansas State.
Kansas State looked pretty goddamn good this week.
They got Florida's former fucking superstar player who...
Is it the point guard?
No, it's Keontae Johnson. He's like a forward, right? Like he's... Yeah, I think he's forward. But he was a dude who had like the heart attack on the court or whatever. Like his heart just fucking stopped.
But it's a great game. Looking forward to that. Arkansas, UConn, that might be the second best game. I mean, they're so good this day.
I actually think that's the best game of this next round.
I do too, man.
Gonzaga, UCLA.
Yeah, Gonzaga, UCLA
that's a great one too. It's a great one too, and that's the capper. Florida FAU is playing Tennessee.
We don't need to talk about that.
Tennessee. This is how funny the tournament is. Like you watch the season all season long, and you're like, man, Tennessee just really shit in the bed at the end of the year.
Yeah,
yikes, whatever.
Most of the season, you're like, Tennessee's probably a top 2 team.
Right, but they were shitting
in
the
the SEC.
Shit in the bed. They were, and they were shitting the bed at the end of the year though. And then they lost their fucking point guard, who averages 4 steals a game. Obviously, runs the whole fucking. They're a defensive team, so they just lost maybe their best defensive player. At least a guy impactful on stealing possessions from the other team. And all that shit. And then, but that's the funny thing. He's like, oh, I don't know, man. Tennessee not looking so good. And then they just make a fucking run.
Yeah.
And the whole season's turned around in 4 days.
Yeah. And they have a really goddamn good shot now of going to the Elite Eight.
I think they're gonna. Like, they're gonna be an Elite Eight team, and then who?
They're gonna beat FAU, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're going to the Elite Eight. Tennessee is. And then we'll switch on over to these Friday games. San Diego State versus Alabama. This is -7.5. By the way, all these odds are from mybookie.com.
I would hammer
promo
San
code
Diego
Drinkin,
State.
bro. I am hammering San Diego State in this game. I do not believe in Alabama whatsoever.
Well, that's a mistake. You should believe technically in Alabama. It's just they don't look like they're being managed as an organization very well right now.
Yeah.
They've definitely got the talent to win against anybody in the country right now, but they looked like they didn't even fucking show up to the game.
It's
No.
weird.
Nate
And
Oates
this-
is unhinged.
This is
Yeah.
not. Bama's not an Arkansas situation where it's like, oh, they've been disorganized all year. This is like a recent, last 4 weeks development where the wheels have just kind of come up. They're so talented that you can't tell from the results.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Because a lady
Did
died.
something happen?
There's a new orphan.
Was there 4 guys in a car on the team handing off the heat and the hat?
Well,
that
it
what
wasn't
happened?
just that. It was like coming into the stadium 3 or 4 days after your involvement, and it gets leaked, and you have people patting you down looking for a gun. They're They're kids. They're distracted.
Yep.
And Alabama's coach should be fired for it, frankly.
I agree.
Like, if you take this amount of talent and you can't control if some dude's an asshole and goes out and fucking murders somebody, that kid's off the team now. You have other people on the ancillary part of that who are involved in dumb shit. That's college kids that do stupid shit. Not to this degree, but still stupid shit, get distracted by things. And it's your job as the adult to make sure that they're all on the same page. If Alabama fucking shits the bed in this round, that coach has got to go.
Well, they already signed him to a 10-year
Yeah,
extension.
Nate Oates
what?
not really
He's not
a
going
coach. He's
anywhere.
not going anywhere. But also, the way they're treating it, too, like, it's not serious, like, where they're patting down Miller.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, I was talking
in the warm-up lines and everything.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have more self-awareness. I don't care if you're 18, 19 years old. You got to know.
Yeah,
Me
I'm not
neither.
saying he's not an idiot for doing it, but there are adults around him that be like, hey, not like, oh, you're so good at basketball, just don't do that. Like, no, hey, fuckface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's
Stop
a
doing that.
That's a Bob Knight grab him by the
Yeah.
collar situation and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking psycho!"
Like, you're wasting this opportunity. If he came out, even with all this shit around him, if he came out and dominated throughout this tournament, probably the first pick in the draft next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's a couple European guys that might go first, but
There's
The French guy, yeah.
Wemby.
alien
Wemby
that's
and-
coming out in the draft next year.
Wemby's
that everyone
coming
is tanking for.
that
Yeah.
dude to me, I don't know that he's going to be all that great.
He's going to be
Imagine-
insanely good.
Imagine
Pretty thin.
maybe.
like Chet
he's
Holmgren, but
7'5".
Chet Holmgren, but a little better. And it's
It's Giannis with handles and a
you
jump
mean the
shot.
guy that can't make it onto the court?
Yeah.
that's how good
Oh
he
my
is. He's
God.
like a little bit better than Chet Holmgren.
I can't wait till Holmgren just shoves your shit in.
If he hasn't spent
Like-
the last 6 months of injury, which is how long it's been now, bulking up, then he's not going to play next year either.
He's not going to play. Yeah, he's going to be a weak little.
People, did you look at yourself when you were 18? Like everyone's a fucking twink.
I did.
Giannis
and
was
you
a
know what?
twink.
You know what I said? I said to myself, I'm not good enough to be an NBA player, and neither is that kid. So
Oh my god! But Wemby is going to be Giannis with the jump shot and handles. Like he's
Yeah.
going to be insane.
Wemby's fucking
We'll see,
nuts.
right? I mean, physics is against him just because when you're that large, are your tendons and ligaments going to be able to stand up to the kind of pressure? I hope so, because he is huge and also incredibly athletic. And he's like LeBron James on steroids. You know what I mean? Like if you've got any kind of handles and you can stay healthy like that, that dude is going to be a fucking Hall of Famer for sure.
it's staying healthy is the problem. When you're that big, it's
Yeah.
very, very difficult.
Has Giannis had problems? I really don't remember. Like, has
Not
he?
really. Not since he
No.
bulked up in between his second and third year, he put on some muscle. I think he's put on like 25 pounds.
The only
of
reason
muscle.
he was drafted so late was because the only footage of Giannis playing basketball was against a broomstick.
Sick.
Yeah, and the broomstick won.
The broomstick, beat him.
No, like the drills that they would do,
yeah.
where they would just the fucking guy would just put a broomstick in your face and
But
maybe
take Zion Williamson. I mean, that guy hasn't even fucking played in 3
He's played
years.
74 games.
yeah, but he's got
over
one of the
course
highest
his career.
PERs in like the league.
What does that mean?
When
That's
he
like-
doesn't play.
when he plays, he's awesome.
I'm
but
batting.
he's not playing.
I'm batting 500 in the 2 games I've played the
Right.
last 6
exactly.
years.
Yeah.
No, he
I-
plays-
cares
plays
about
why
that.
I was
He's
against.
played 74 games during this current contract he's on.
That's
so
fine.
far.
That's why I was against the Yankees giving Mike Judge all those years of money. Like
Yeah,
or
that's
Aaron Judge.
wild.
I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't fucking care if he hits 60 something home
I
runs
know.
last year.
well, yeah,
But it's
Zion's
baseball.
problem
Baseball,
is
they don't give a shit.
Zion's problem is where he got drafted because the food's too good
Yeah.
and he doesn't have any self control.
Well, I mean, is that the city or is that his own problem?
They should just give him
you
a
know?
fucking tapeworm.
Listen,
yeah.
Like hire an assistant with the assistant as a tapeworm, and then you could fucking launder money too, because you say you're paying this assistant $150,000 a year to be Zion's assistant.
if
Really, it's just a
Zion got
tapeworm.
drafted in
Pocket the
Utah,
money.
he's already an MVP.
Just the elevation alone.
Yeah.
Like he's losing weight, getting bulked.
Who knows?
He's not
I
eating
don't
much.
know what's going to happen with that guy. Back to college, though, real quick. You were high on San Diego State, so I started watching them over the weekend because I truthfully didn't know that much about this team. Not only do I think they're going to beat Alabama, it's just a very good team.
They're good,
there,
yeah.
which is weird.
So this is the same
They're
coach
good
and
like
everything.
almost every other year.
They've been
they-
good
they-
for like 4 or 5 years.
They
now.
were robbed. They were one of my dark horse Final Four teams in the COVID year that got canceled. They were a 2 seed, I think. I mean, they were a 2 seed or maybe a 3 seed, but like them and Dayton.
I think it was 2 because I think they were ranked 8th.
Yeah, them and Dayton had the biggest complaints about that tournament getting canceled for COVID because both of those teams, those were like just the best teams either school ever had.
Well, that was Dayton with Obi
Toppin.
yeah.
What's happening? Yeah.
They've become one of those teams that has, like these days with the one and done shit, they've got a pretty decent mix between good talent and people to stay around for a while. Kind of like Gonzaga, I guess.
I mean,
a
they
good
had
system.
Kawhi
yeah.
back in the day.
Good system too. They're the type of school that rarely I feel like you can always feel safe with them winning their first round game. If you're picking a
I
bracket.
might money line this. We'll
You
check
should.
back on later in the week.
They're what, plus
over
280?
Alabama. Yeah, it's minus 7.5 right now. So
Are they doing a media day on Wednesday before the weekend games start?
you know,
Because if they do that, if I could see what Alabama's acting like at the time, I might go money line.
they
on that,
usually
too.
only do it for the Final Four. So I doubt we'll get to see it. Right after that, you got Miami versus Houston. I live in the same camp that Delco lives in with this, where, I mean, this routes to the Final Four for them, I don't think they look that great. But the routes to the Final Four is just so fucking easy for this team, and they're playing Miami to get there.
Houston's looked pretty good.
They've looked okay.
They one of their games they only shot 25% from 3, but they
Yeah.
Sasser's been hurt. Like he's not been full strength.
Right, and when you're missing your best player, because I think he's got a groin injury, they said.
Yeah.
they pulled him out like after 19 minutes or some shit the other day.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I
something
think
like that.
that's a team because of the shitty teams they play. They could go to the Final Four. I just don't think this team can win at all.
I would like to see Houston, Texas Elite 8.
Yes.
Oh yeah, is that how it would match
Yes.
up?
It would be Houston versus Texas.
I
to
would
go to the
I would
Final
bet
Four.
on Texas all day long. all day long.
But it would be in-state rivals to go to a Final Four
in
in-state.
Houston. Yeah.
That'd be great. Hopefully that happens. Next up, you got Princeton versus Creighton. Creighton's favored by 9.5. They looked really fucking good this weekend.
Princeton's not going to be able to do their white boy shit against Creighton.
Why is that, Bob? Because they're full of white boys on Creighton. So
Yep.
it's white on white there.
You're not going to be able to out-scrap Creighton. They're not going to be able to do it.
No. Great game then on Friday night to end this, and that's Xavier, Texas. That's a blast of a game. Still got Texas in this one. I think that Houston versus Texas matchup is going to happen for sure.
Would be nice. But
It
then
would be.
And then if Texas loses, though, you get Sean Miller in the Elite Eight.
Disgraced Arizona coach, Sean Miller.
Is he disgraced?
No, I don't care.
He should. He should go to Ohio State. He should definitely go to Ohio State.
I think he's going to be fine at Xavier.
Yeah, he is. Somebody made Holtman a fucking offer. It was Notre Dame, so he's going to stick at Ohio State. Thanks, Notre
Oh,
Dame.
you guys should
Fucking
swap.
Dicks.
Have Bray go to Ohio State.
No, I wanted Sean Miller. I like the dirtiness of Sean Miller. He's a real dirtbag who chews out his kids. I like that a lot.
Fair.
But once we get some of these other teams out of here, we can start to get to the meat and potatoes of this. Should be another fucking great week, though. So far, so good in the NCAA. I just don't know what the difference is in the last 3 years versus everyone else. Like, I mean, we're not seeing the Dukes dominate anymore. UNC didn't even make the tournament this year. Ohio State didn't make the tournament for the first time in fucking 30 years.
I mean, you got UCLA.
You do.
A lot of blue bloods. I think it's kind of like, I wouldn't call it like a Moneyball type of situation per se in terms of like finding undervalued players, but like everyone's just smarter. Like lower tier team, quote unquote lower tier teams are just like better at scouting, better at creating a system that works. Like everyone's better at just being a basketball team than they used to be, and that's gonna.
It's not that. It's a one-game situation. Like anybody can beat anybody.
And the reason more wackiness has happened is because people are better at being basketball teams than they used to be.
But why is Kentucky out in the first round every year?
Because
I mean, they have the best.
Cal has a lifetime contract, and I think he's like 2-5 in the tournament since he signed that.
Because like to me, the best player in the whole tournament is that center for Kentucky.
Shibwe?
Yep.
He
puts up
was
numbers,
last
but-
year.
Puts up monster numbers, man. I mean, the kid's incredible. Kentucky looked like a solid team, and then they got fucking beat again.
Cal sucks at coaching. Been saying it. He's a good recruiter. He's the greatest recruiter ever.
Yeah.
So what do you
coach.
do with a guy like that?
Tell him to start recruiting one and dones again first off, because he's like gone away from that.
I mean, Kentucky fans probably are
They're over.
kind of over his shit, so I would just let him go. I don't know what that would entail to pay out.
A lot.
It would.
Because I think it's a lifetime contract.
It's a-
Yeah, I don't know how you
it's-
pay out a lifetime.
It's a life for a
contract.
life.
I don't either.
Yeah, you have to
murder
kill
someone,
somebody,
yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you
Which
got
is,
to.
you know, that's appropriate.
You got to.
Or the only way that you can actually fire him is to kill him.
well,
Is it Highlander style? Do you absorb his power?
No, it's like the guy who was supposed to have the nuclear code in his heart. You know what I mean? In order to fire him, you have to cut his heart out.
Or you just hope an NBA team hires him, I guess.
He's 1,000 years old, right?
no, he's
Yeah.
pretty young. He's pretty young.
How young?
he's
You're,
in his
you're,
60s.
you're
Late
thinking of Rick
50s, early
Pitino.
60s.
Yeah, but you're not fucking. Well, Rick Pitino's in his mid-70s now,
just
isn't he?
got a new job.
Just got a new
St.
job.
John's.
Yeah, but
today.
he's not in the NBA. You're not going
No.
from college to the NBA at 65.
He's not going back to the NBA.
Yeah,
I
but
know,
no-
but no basketball coach is going from college to the NBA at 65 for the first time. That ain't
Right.
happening.
I mean,
Jay
Cal's,
Wright, maybe?
Yeah, Jay Wright could do it.
He could
but
do it.
Cal's in good shape, and so is Jay Wright.
And if anything, Cal would do more of a, without the disgrace part, I guess, Pitino or Sean Miller situation where you just go back to a smaller school
Also,
and just do a little more basketball.
Cal's also got like the Team USA reps, so like he's dealt with a lot of NBA players.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah. Pitino just signed with St. John's to be the new coach there, so he is out
Love
of
it.
Iona.
Yeah, but
Love
it was St. John's Wort, not the university. So it's a supplement,
Gotcha.
and it's a 2-year deal.
Big fan of Pitino.
Does anybody give a
there.
fuck about Pitino anymore?
yeah, I love Rick.
So do I.
Why?
Everyone loves Rick.
Everybody
Wait,
loves Rick
didn't
Pitino.
he have to resign and disgrace a couple times?
Oh, yeah.
No,
of course.
from Louisville because he gave his players prostitutes. Who cares?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's something you should be for, not against.
You didn't mention the prostitutes.
Yeah.
Was it players or recruits?
Now I'm on board. I
It
don't
was
care
both.
who it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was both.
I don't care what if you're. So that's like Robin Hood to me. You know what I mean?
That's Denzel Washington, that Jesus Shuttlesworth movie. Was
It's actually
based on him giving
Denzel.
prostitutes.
It's Denzel. Did
Oh,
you
is
see
it?
that?
No, it is.
Yeah, so he was on, who's that fucking, that British comedian's talk show? Not the one that's actually in England.
Oh, yes. I know
Fuck's
what you're
his
talking
name?
about.
I can't
Graham
see
Norton?
it.
Graham Norton.
Yeah, Graham Norton.
Yep.
He was on Graham Norton's show, and he's like, so your name's actually pronounced Denzel? He's like, well, actually, it's Denzel. My dad's name is Denzel Washington, but my mom would say Denzel, and then both of us would show up, so she just started calling me Denzel. Like,
Yeah.
well, that was a good career move for your mom.
Sure was.
Because Denzel Washington isn't going to be famous.
No, Denzel definitely.
Yeah.
is.
I mean, the only real
really
problem
worked
with
out.
Pitino, though, is that he would cheat on his wife with somebody in a coat closet.
Or on
and he
a
would only
bathroom
last
floor.
like 10 seconds, allegedly.
Is that a problem?
Yeah, but he's trying to get his nut, dude.
Yeah,
Right.
and he's
Yeah.
got shit to do. He's got recruits to talk to.
And if you're going to do it in like a restaurant coat closet, you got to be fast.
Well, let me
This
ask
man,
you
yeah,
this.
he plays at a fast pace.
I don't
Yeah,
want
how-
my coach having fucking 3-hour sex. He should be recruiting.
Well, think about this. How much time should you spend trying to make a prostitute come in the first place?
None.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think
Zero-
he was doing prostitutes. He was just hooking his players up with prostitutes.
Sure.
Let's, yeah.
It's
That's
it's a BOGO
like,
deal.
I'm holding
for
it
that
for
one.
my friend. Yeah. Fuck out of here.
The Brandon Miller story. Welcome to Alabama.
That's not how this is going down.
Kids, we got some sponsors that put this show on the air. First and foremost, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. Would you mind grabbing me a hard AF seltzer there? I'm partying today. Why not? It's a Monday, kids. It's freezing here in Texas. Let's go. We're gambling on all this shit, man. So there's been a lot of wild ones on my bookie. First of all, you can put teasers on the basketball games. And that goes up to 7, by the way. So you can do a 5 or a 7-point
They
teaser.
do 5 and 7?
Sure
So you
do.
typically only 4.
I know. And they were doing it for the tourney, which has been fun. And they've also been doing brackets, everything else over there. And it's been a blast. So if you parlay some teams together, you can get that 7, you can get a 5. I've had a 4. It's been great and really enjoyed it. You can keep piling up the money there. If you bet on the underdogs this weekend, you were rich, dude. You were absolutely fucking rich this weekend. And congratulations.
Or if you had Taylor Moore to win the Valspar.
Boy, what would that have paid off at? Do you know? What were his odds?
I think he was up in like the 60s or 70s to 1.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That would have been a good pick. But again, go to mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. NFL draft odds will be up very, very soon. And the one that everybody's betting on right now is Jalen Carter. So you can get real good odds on that. I think the over-under is 5, somewhere in there. So who knows where that kid's going to end up but there will be full odds all day long. And nights and live odds and all that other stuff. We're doing a live show for that, so please join us for that. Go to mybookie.com. Use promo code Drinkin Bros to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Also, if you want tickets to any of these games that are coming up across the board, go to drinkinbrostickets.com. We're about $10 cheaper than StubHub. It's a resale site, same as everybody else's, but you are able to knock the fees down in the back end by $10. So congratulations there. So any of this stuff, if it's coming to your area and you want to go see these games, they're a blast in real life. Some of our partners at Hard AF Seltzer, Doug and Chris and those guys, went to Orlando. Orlando had some really good fucking games over the weekend over at Amway Stadium. So go to drinkinbrostickets.com for those tickets.
I'm sorry, Amway has its own stadium?
They do in Orlando.
That multi-level
Where the Magic
marketing
play, yeah.
scheme
It
that the
might be
Mormons
train.
started has a
it
fucking...
might be the train.
I mean, it's probably the perfect sponsor for Florida. That's where every Ponzi scheme starts.
It's true. It is, yeah, including Ponce de Leon in the first Ponzi scheme.
yeah.
Come drink out of this. It's just his bathtub. It's kind of
So yeah, go to drinkinbrostickets.com for that. We'll switch on over to the NFL here. A lot of bizarre moves that happened this week, and I'm having a hard time figuring some of these out.
Such as?
Baker Mayfield to Tampa Bay. So he's the successor to Tom Brady down there.
Can't give up on him.
Oh, God.
What is that? He's not succeeding anything.
There are CEOs in America, and it is their job to come in and steer the ship all the way into the iceberg. I'm not making that up. That's a thing. It's like it's an interim CEO kind of situation. Although you get the full-time job, it's like we don't have the cash right now to do what we want to do. We've got to fucking bridge this gap. and we're going to bring in some fucking chucklehead who will for a while, who's not going to do anything innovative or any of that bullshit, but he will keep the ball moving forward, so to speak, for the next 2 years, and that's what Baker Mayfield is in his career now.
I hate the fit,
He's
though.
that guy.
I wish the Rams re-signed him because I wanted to see Baker and McVay's offense for another season.
Well, they're trying to so the Rams are trying to trade Stafford right now. That was another shocking thing that happened over the week.
I don't think McVay is there next season. I think he's gone too.
This will be his last year.
And I think he's leaving, not them firing him.
Correct. And he's going to the booth.
Yep.
He's going to the booth.
I'll do the Gruden. We'll go to the booth for 10 years and then go back and coach.
I mean, if you're McVay and
Why
they're
not?
selling out all of your assets from under you, do you stay another year?
No.
Even with that money? Because you'll
No.
get that same amount of money. What is he making, like 13 mil, probably, something like that?
Yeah, he's making good money there for sure.
Yeah,
he won a
but
Super Bowl.
in the booth, he'll make plenty of money. And without any of the fucking stress.
He's also got I don't know how much it pays, but I mean, like, he's got endorsements.
Yeah.
He does.
He's in like commercials and shit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
He's also like fucking what?
But he's a good-looking.
43 years old.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna
he's
say-
younger than me.
Yeah. No, I think he's 36.
Yeah.
yeah, but he's also like psychotic, right?
Yeah, no, his
You ever
eyes
hear
are-
him
So
talk?
what? I love it. I love it. Let's go.
But
Eat
like
the soup, like,
he is like a football guy through and through. So like I don't know if he can quit. So I guess maybe the booth will kind of
He should go to college.
ease that.
That'd be sick.
I'd be sick if he went to
Seriously,
college.
just like go there and win a national title
Dominate.
somewhere in 2 years and then retire.
Has
mine.
Cliff come back from Thailand yet?
No. And so he doesn't have a job right now.
I know, but like, is he just going to stay there?
Not sure. But since you talked about him, we'll move on to that team. DeAndre Hopkins still has not been traded yet, and I really don't know why.
It's probably a
either.
cap thing. So it's the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. If the Packers, it's because of the structure of the contract.
Okay.
And Hopkins still has 2 years left on his deal.
And Hopkins kind of old,
It's
right?
the same thing. So that the,
32,
The way,
but he's still great.
great. The way they restructure those contracts is you sign a deal today for 5 years, $100 million, all guaranteed, right? Then the first year, instead of getting whatever the salary would be, $20 million for that year, they give you $20 million plus a bonus. Or they gave you $10 million plus a bonus of $30 million. So you actually make $40 million in cash, but your cap hit is only $10 million for that year. But that bonus that you get goes to the next years, and you can split it up over those. So that extra $20 million you got this year, although they don't have to pay that in salary for the next 3 years, it does go onto the cap, right? So you end up with these weird numbers like a dead cap hit that Aaron Rodgers is going to have in his final season 2 years from now for like fucking $90 million, $80 million or whatever it is.
Right.
That's why, is because they're restructuring that deal and pushing. You get the money still, but the cap hit doesn't come until later.
Okay.
Right? So for Aaron Rodgers specifically, the reason that everybody's up in arms like, oh, I don't know, they're having trouble working out a deal. And maybe they are, who knows. But the fact of this case is, if they wait until June 15th to trade him, his dead cap hit that the Packers have to absorb is like $25 million less.
If they do that, though, that will completely fuck over the Jets in the draft and everything else. Not that the Packers should give a shit about that.
They
by the
shouldn't,
way.
yeah.
They shouldn't.
To be honest, they should be fine with nothing or the Aaron Rodgers just retiring. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
because the odd part to me is, so he comes out of this fucking cave. He goes on McAfee, which we all knew was going to happen.
Well, Aubrey's podcast first. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh, did he do Aubrey's first or McAfee?
He did Aubrey's first.
Yep,
he
he did.
talked about what it was like to come out of the darkness.
Right, but did he say he was going to play for the Jets?
He said he was still evaluating football. I think of that.
I don't know. I didn't listen.
Oh, okay,
I just saw a clip.
The really cinematically shot podcast.
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
trailer for him to say like, "Yeah, I don't know a whole lot of people that entered the dark."
Oh, yeah. Big fan of that.
I love
Big
seeing
fan
how
of that.
thirsty his eyes are looking at Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, they fucked. They fucked in real life. Yes.
No, I think he
Yes,
still
Aubrey
wants to.
fucked him.
I think he still wants it.
I think Aubrey fucked him.
You think he's a tease?
No, I just think Aubrey's just very.
Oh, here it
excited.
is. So if they trade Aaron Rodgers after June 1st instead of before June 1st, they save, let's see, about $25 million in dead cap space.
But you can announce that trade, right? Or no?
That's a good question. I don't know what the league rules are on that. Who knows, right? The NFL is weird, but if you're the Jets, you need 2 first-round draft picks. Like, you should leverage that for everything it's worth.
I agree.
To get it done before. I'm sorry, if you're the Packers, I mean.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think he's going for first rounders.
the Packers lose nothing by waiting. They can just let him retire and get nothing out
But
of
to
it.
Dan's point, they don't have a choice. He's already said he wants to go to the Jets, which you can't say until you have a fucking contract. Now that you don't have a contract, if you don't agree to the 2 firsts, then what?
he retires.
Right.
I don't
so
think
it's a win-win
I
for
don't
the
think you're
Packers.
giving up. No, I don't think you're giving up anything really. The Packers might get like a third rounder.
For Aaron Rodgers,
They will get.
He's like 40, man.
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
And you never know if he'll even finish a season at this
I'm
point.
telling you,
like,
the guys are going for much cheaper than you think.
All right, hey, we'll
There's
find
like
out.
second, third rounders, seventh rounders. What did Ramsey go for? Not a lot.
God, Ramsey. I think Ramsey went for like a fourth or a fifth. He's
Yeah.
older. He's older.
Yeah, but Rodgers is ancient.
The quarterback age and cornerback age are not nearly
Totally
the same
different.
thing. That's
But
Totally
receivers
different.
too.
Big
Receivers
dog,
are super
small dog.
cheap. The Panthers just got somebody for like a fourth rounder, right? Third rounder, fourth rounder.
Aaron Rodgers is probably the best quarterback of all time, talent-wise, right? I don't care how old he is.
Pretty close.
Mahomes.
We just watched a guy play.
Yeah, well, we'll
Mahomes
see.
is probably,
Yeah.
now that he's got 2 chips, he's probably above him. But we just watched the guy play until he's 45. We watched. It's getting pretty routine.
It's
even
gonna
with-
happen more.
with baseball. Pitchers are going into their 40s now more regularly.
I mean,
It's
even-
not about the talent, though. You're right. The motivation, too, just to get him to finish a goddamn season is a problem.
And he's a head case.
absolute head case.
He doesn't like the only thing that can make him care about winning apparently is somebody telling him he can't win. And he can't force himself to feel that emotion. It has to happen organically. So Jordan, Kobe, the reason they were great is like, what'd you say? You don't like my fucking shoes?
Right.
Well, guess what, bitch?
Right.
40 points.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
no,
And
I said
Aaron Rodgers.
hi.
Yeah.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have that. Like he does it the offensive stuff does motivate him, but it has to actually happen. And you can't rely on that, man. What the fuck?
Well, you can rely on one thing with Aaron Rodgers, and that's not talking to his family.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
The weird fucking wedge that you just did there.
Yeah, I mean, it was
Since we're
super
talking
weird.
about him, fuck that guy.
fuck him.
And also, Lamar Jackson doesn't have a deal yet, but that's kind of what I don't expect him. Nobody's going to make an offer on this.
Yeah, why not?
Because they don't want to do Baltimore's work for him. And they know that Baltimore, if they make a reasonable offer, here's the deal.
He seems stuck.
Baltimore Heat right now, but if I'm him, I don't play another game for them. But anyways, let me get through this. So whomever grabs him off of this, if they give him an offer sheet, it's going to be an offer way less than what he's actually worth. So
Yep.
they know he's going to turn it down. And the reason is because not only do they have to make the offer to him in cash and guaranteed money, but they also have to give up picks for that.
Right.
And that is a whole other situation. I mean, imagine think about a 5-year contract and how much salary you would spend to guarantee a first-round draft pick, which is essentially what they're asking for. That's in addition to the salary you're already going to have to pay him. So the league, I don't think it's collusion. I just think it's a bad deal, which means that rule for a restricted non-exclusive franchise tag doesn't even make any fucking sense. Who would take that deal? That you're asking your team to mortgage their fucking future.
Yeah,
to do that.
I'm not sure. And if you're the player taking that deal, playing one more year at quarterback and potentially getting hurt during the last contract you're going to get.
For a team that's treated him the way this team, and look, you can say whatever you want. He doesn't have an agent. They offered him some money back in the day, but he didn't want it because it wasn't guaranteed. You could say Deshaun Watson set an unrealistic expectation, but whatever it is, he's been the only great player on that team for fucking years now.
Yeah.
And they refuse to pay him, so fuck them. I wouldn't fucking
Or
play
help
for him.
Or help him.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything to help them or play for them. There's no fucking way.
Really, really bizarre that Harbaugh's okay with all this.
He
seems like a good coach.
Who knows if he is, right?
Who really knows?
I don't know
though?
what relationship he has with the front office. I know for a fact that Ron Rivera doesn't like the front office and at the Redskins.
Well, yeah,
He
well,
hates him.
I'm not talking about the ownership.
No, I know.
Like
Front office,
it's
yeah.
like he. Well, I guess that was an ownership thing. He did not want Carson Wentz.
yeah.
That's been made very plain to me.
Yep.
And it was the ownership that wanted Carson Wentz. It was the ownership that wanted to name the fucking Commanders too. They make a lot of bad decisions over there.
Terrible decisions. Since you brought up the Commanders, by the way, Falcons signed Taylor Heineke as their quarterback for the future. So
Pretty sick.
That's your guy.
No, Taylor Heineke's the guy that you want on your roster for sure. You
Yeah,
don't want,
right
you don't,
now?
You don't want him
I
to be your
don't want
starter.
him- I don't want him playing.
You do. You want him on your roster in case there's a 3 to 5 game stretch in the middle of the season where your fucking QB1 goes down because that dude will win you 2 or 3 games in that time.
Taylor
But over
Heineke-
the course,
but he is now our QB1.
but
is now
over the
gonna
course
win
of
you
the
9
season,
games.
Let's
go.
Who
Falcons.
knows?
Winning that division with
Fucking
9
worse.
wins.
That's what I'm talking about. It was a strange week of the NFL. 'cause
Oh, that's the worst division in football by a wide
it is.
margin.
It is. I mean, it's not even fucking.
You think
close.
there's going to be 9 wins in that division?
Actually,
Saints.
the Panthers might win like 9 or 10. Yeah.
Why? Because they signed Adam Thielen?
And Sam Darnold. Are you
Well,
No,
Darnold's
Darnold
fine.
went to the 49ers. So
And
he's
he's
out
a
of there.
Niner.
That's
Yeah.
right. Wait, who went to-
Carolina has the first pick in the draft, and they're going to get a quarterback,
Yeah.
but they're not going to win.
I like the staff that they put together because it's Frank Reich, and then you have a bunch of like former head coaches at
Yeah.
offense coordinator, defense coordinator.
It does look like a pretty good formula there, but you got to get the pieces. I don't know. That
Why
they're
did Adam Thielen go there at 32 years old?
Because he knows they're building
to be
something
the elder
there.
statesman?
He said he wanted to win a title. That's not the place you go to win a title.
I don't know that that's accurate. 2 or 3 years from now, I mean, they're going to suck this year, probably. I think.
He'll be 35.
Yeah. Well, he's 32 right now.
I know, but
Yeah.
in 2 to 3 years
but-
from now.
His receiver game ages better than others, I feel
Yeah.
like.
Well,
He's just a possession guy. like,
We'll see, but I don't think the Panthers are that far away from being a pretty good team.
Thielen's kind of a deep threat too.
that's fair.
And
But
al-
he
also in that division, you can win that division every single year just by putting 9 wins on the board.
It's very
probably,
racist
right?
of you.
it is very racist of me.
What is?
He said he was a possession receiver.
He's a slot guy.
He's
He's a slot guy.
Cowboys is continuing the weirdness here this week. They traded for Brandon Cooks. However, OBJ just had an unbelievable workout last week, and they were like, "No, let's trade for Brandon Cooks, who's had 900 concussions."
OBJ wants too much money, right?
No. So OBJ said on Twitter that he goes, "I did not ask for $20 million a year. I've only been offered $4 million." And he goes, "I'm not taking $4 million a year." So apparently he was alluding to the fact that it's only been $4 million a year. That's the contract for him. Why not pay for OBJ over Brandon Cooks? I don't really understand that.
I don't understand Cooks, but I don't know. What's OBJ worth? He hasn't played a full season in how long?
A year?
I'd
He got
say
hurt in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got hurt right
Yeah, but he
before
only
the Super
played
Bowl.
half a season.
Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
with
full
LA.
season with the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And
And he lost all of his money.
And
yeah.
he was out most of the prior season to that, too. I think he played 9. Hold on, I can look.
Why haven't the Cowboys? I mean, defensively they did. They picked up Gilmore, which is amazing, right? So their defense is going to be even better than it was last year.
Yeah.
Why don't they make any offensive moves? I'd
Well,
really
they're-
because they cut Zeke last week, which was expected.
To free up cap, so you got to think they're working on a fucking move for D-Hop or something, right? I mean, you can get he's a great receiver that you could probably get at a deep discount at this point if he restructures because he's 32 years old now.
But you
right?
got CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Now you have Cooks. You have Gallup. I don't know that they get a fourth receiver in D-Hop. Like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
It does to me. Every single year they have this same fucking problem. Not enough people to throw to. And a guy that can't really throw to him.
But they just don't.
They typically
don't
have a
do
lot of
anything in the
receivers.
offseason. Yeah, but they don't do anything in the offseason.
Well, what
Yeah,
they did
but-
last offseason was let what's his nuts go to Cleveland.
Who?
Right? Amari Cooper, and he had fucking 1,200 goddamn yards.
Yes,
Also,
they
dude.
kept Michael Gallup and got rid of Amari Cooper.
Why?
Hopkins would be great for Dak too because he just has the biggest hands.
That's you gotta for Dak Prescott. You gotta have OBJ would be great for it too.
Yeah.
guys who don't drop passes, which CeeDee Lamb drops passes all the time, and 2 dudes who you just get it in the area.
Yep.
Area
Yeah.
receivers.
Yep.
And I mean that to me makes a lot of sense. I don't know why the fuck maybe they are doing it, but probably not.
you don't really want a crisp route runner.
No.
Because Dak's not gonna fucking hit that route. Like,
Yeah. Very odd to me. For the Eagles, obviously they let Miles Sanders go. He's out of there. He went to Carolina as well. That's got to be for Bijan Robinson.
That's a really good pickup for them. They're picking up Bijan Robinson.
We
That's-
re-signed Darius Slay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that solidifies. You guys are probably going for Bijan Robinson.
Word on the street is they're going
I
for
mean,
Robinson.
any running back, who cares? Like, just fill in the running back position. It's not important.
What's
Bijan
the
Robinson is
I don't
is
want to
great,
spend
though.
a first-round pick on a running back.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate that.
It's the 9th pick, right? But you also
No,
have
It's the 10, whatever the Saints pick is. Yeah,
I think it's
Yeah.
the 9, or maybe it's
It's either 9 or 10.
They have that, and they have another one at what, like
9 is now the Bears.
it would be
23,
31st
No.
pick.
That one bumped up too. I think it could be though. Hold on, let me look.
Houston Texans have agreed with Dalton Schultz. He's out of there. Devin Singletary
Nobody cares about that.
is there as well. Man, a lot of strange moves here, but not the big ones, man. I still don't understand why the San Francisco quarterback hasn't dropped yet. Sam Durr there doesn't really make any sense to me.
Why? Darnold's going to cook.
Oh, God, he's the fucking worst.
Shanahan can do anything. And he's not the worst. He's fine.
He's terrible. He's a terrible
Darnold?
quarterback.
Just because he was bad with a really bad Jets team. And he's fine in Carolina. He's going to be perfectly fine in San Francisco.
What's your definition of fine? Because you like Baker Mayfield for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayfield was fine.
He
until
was
he
fine.
wasn't.
Yeah, he like mediocre, right? Like you're gonna get just enough
But there's so much great talent out there. Why do this is what I don't really understand.
because you don't need to pay for a quarterback when you have Shanahan.
You do, because they haven't made the Super Bowl.
They've made the Super Bowl quite a few times.
Not with the 49ers last year. All they were missing was a quarterback.
They made the Super Bowl with Shanahan with a
With
mediocre
Jimmy
quarterback.
G, yeah.
I
And they
think-
should have won. They were up, what, 24-10 at half?
I think they're legit in on Brock Purdy. I really do.
But he's not coming back this year.
Yeah,
so
but like, what are you? You're not going
He
to
will
sign.
eventually.
You're not. If you go out and get somebody great, you're going to have to sign a long-term deal with them. If you bring in fucking knucklehead McGee over there, you can hopefully use your defense to get into another fucking title run, and maybe Purdy's back at the end of the season, right?
Man, to me, I would just go out and get a quarterback.
And Darnold's a California kid.
He's terrible.
He's back.
Get that beautiful blonde California quarterback
It's red.
hair.
It's red.
He's got a squishy face.
He's
man.
got a
There's
fucking
something went
box
horribly
head.
wrong in his face.
Looks like a goddamn Lego character. That
You're going to have to
dumb.
apologize when he wins the Super Bowl this year.
I know you guys said that about Baker Mayfield, and guess what? I'll never have to apologize. Panthers, by the way, so they're not going to rule out Bryce Young over height.
They can just get him some of
Who
those
is that?
shoes.
Yeah. Their new sponsor, dude.
Make some cleats that are lifts. If it works, if he can move around in them, how is it functionally any different? As long as you can see over people.
Well, that leads me to who do they go with? Who does Carolina pick with that
CJ
first
Stroud
pick?
is the
You think
first
so?
pick, yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Who do you think?
The only two right answers are Stroud or Bryce Young.
Why?
I just don't trust Anthony Richardson.
Why?
Because he's got all the physical tools. Great, I've seen that 1,000 times.
He's a stud.
Not on the field.
Not on the
he
field.
is.
Well, we don't
but
know.
think about it this way. His athleticism can buy him a couple of years to learn. And
Fair
you can't
enough.
say that about those other guys.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to put Dan Mullen on him or fucking homie from Louisiana Lafayette?
Yeah. No, I get it.
I mean, we're seeing it right now in fucking Chicago, right? If you got the wheels, you can fucking bridge that gap a little bit farther than a normal dude.
He's also got a
can.
cannon.
Let me put it this way, and this
But
technically didn't end well, but not for any reasons of on-field situation. But like, I know Mahomes is better than Deshaun Watson, but the Texans made the right choice picking Deshaun Watson over Mahomes with the whatever pick the
at
first
the
or second
time
pick they had.
because Mahomes was a 500 quarterback at Tech.
Yeah.
They did. And by the way, the only reason Deshaun Watson wasn't better was A, he's a fucking creepy psycho, which they, I guess, didn't know until it was too late, until they were paying for hand jobs and, they're in over their heads. And B, they are just an inept organization that didn't give him enough, or actually didn't give him enough coaching, really. Like, Bill O'Brien wasted that. But that was the correct choice, and under better circumstances in terms of getting him coaching and better front office work, Deshaun Watson is, you could have plugged Deshaun Watson into that fucking Andy Reid system, and we'd be talking about Deshaun Watson instead of Pat Mahomes. That was the right pick.
So you're saying that Pat Mahomes is a system quarterback?
No.
That's what he
I'm
just
not.
said.
But I'm saying, and we talked about this off air before. Anyone can be ruined. Anyone can be ruined.
I like how you're saying the word ruined right now.
Yeah.
Did we shame you? Because you used to say ruined.
Ruined.
Yeah.
Now
you've
you're-
changed it.
Did I get it
Now
right?
you've changed
Or
it.
is
Got
it just
right.
is it the booze?
Maybe the booze. I'm warming up, baby.
It's fine. We're all getting fucked up today. We're all getting fucked
Everyone
up
has an
today.
excuse but Bob.
I know, exactly. Ohio State women just moved on to the Sweet 16. That's what
That's
we really
huge.
care about.
Boring.
My God, dude.
Wait, I'm sorry. No. In what?
In women's basketball.
In what?
College.
Oh, I thought it was the NIT. I thought it was the WNIT.
Regular.
Oh, okay.
No,
Is there a
it's the real
women's
tournament.
NIT?
There is a women's NIT. Missouri's playing Kansas tonight. Don't call me because I'm busy.
Cut his mic.
So with this,
You have that power.
And to that
Yeah,
comment,
what are you talking
Giorgio,
about?
about boring, ESPN this year has gone all in on trying to split coverage equally for women's and men's
They've
by
been
giving
there
them
for years.
homepage and everything else. They're making a real big push this
It's
year.
the right idea with the wrong sport.
Which sport should it be?
Softball.
No.
Yeah,
no,
I think
no,
make
no,
softball
no,
a bigger
no, no.
thing.
Guys,
Or
soccer.
Women's
No.
MMA.
Volleyball.
Women's. They don't have it in college.
Especially when they're making out at the weigh-ins.
Man.
That's. Dude, you're just watching pornography.
No.
Yeah.
So this happened over
I
the
saw
weekend.
one woman did it in the history of women's MMA, and that's not what happens all the time.
Hang on.
Don't tell people that
We have
because if
set-
you
we have
tune
set a
in,
precedent, Daniel.
if you tune into this boring shit and you don't see two girls muff diving, you're gonna be real pissed.
Also, we're talking about that over a pay-per-view event?
We should be, and I'll tell you why. So here's
Well,
what
we're just talking about
happens.
it over this WNBA or women's NIT talk.
I'm with you. I don't need to see this in front of my face ever again. And please don't put it on the fucking homepage. I mean, look at right now, Bob. This is it right now.
Well, there's no games going on today.
Well, also you have
Tennessee
to keep.
versus
You have to
There's
keep.
no men's games going on today.
Right.
This is,
And
this is
I don't wanna
happening.
see this.
But this is their own. It's women's games going on right now. They purposely schedule that. Also, for what it's worth, I understand why ESPN would do that because how many men's basketball tournament games are on ESPN?
0.
And how many women's games are on ESPN?
Well, they own it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
what
I
it's
mean-
good for? It's good for making those highlight videos where they brick 7 times in a row, give the ball away, and they brick it down the other court.
So you're saying you're not a fan of the fundamentals?
It's just not
so
the
those
right
are the
sport.
fundamentals?
Right.
It's not great. All of it's not great.
I think they should reduce the hoop down to 6 feet.
8 was
No,
pitched.
let's do 6.
8 or 9
They're still
was
not going to
pitched.
be dunking on 8. The majority of that league isn't. Fuck out of here, man.
They should be. If you,
But I would love to
shoot
watch
on
Brittany
8-foot rims,
Griner on
it
an 8
sucks.
or 6 foot
Or
rim.
just do slam ball. Bring the fucking trampolines back.
It would be a blast. I think they're working on it. No lie. Giorgio.
They brought it back in China, actually.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest viewed sports.
To
in
Giorgio's
China.
point about the women MMA fighters who were making out at weigh-in, I don't know if you saw what happened after the fight.
the flashing?
Sure did. They pulled out their titties.
They did.
In the ring. The place went ballistic. I guess they have an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, these aren't. I mean, they're real fighters in the sense that they fight, but this isn't the highest level of women's MMA.
very
But it's
low
some
level.
nice mid ground. You know, like they have some skills. They know what they're doing out there, but they also want to show their
Yeah,
teams.
I don't
Let's
know.
bump them up, baby.
Yeah.
Let's bump them up.
I'll go watch that. If there's gonna
Same.
be a women's basketball tournament where they're all fucking each other afterwards, yeah, I'll go watch that.
Man.
100%.
Who was the volleyball team? Was it Wisconsin?
Yeah.
The lovely ladies of Wisconsin, the
Yeah.
volleyball team? Man, those nudes were great.
Didn't see him, but might later.
They just had a fucking
There's a
party and
whole
somebody.
folder.
They just
nudes.
raged.
Yeah,
And
they
volleyball
raged.
girls are fun.
They
they're a
are. Those are
blast.
out of all the sports, the best bisexuals are volleyball players.
That's a weird thing to say.
That is
so,
true.
That's so bizarre.
That is a true statement by Giorgio.
So specific.
That is
Well,
a very
what are you
true
talking
statement
about?
by Giorgio.
He hung out with a lot of volleyball players.
No, it's not that.
it's not
because
that, but like there are other sports where like they're
all the
harder
female
lesbians.
basketball players, yes, are hard lesbians. Those are fucking soft buys, and they party, dude.
I just really the amount of sub action you had with volleyball players had. I mean, because you're not as short as Ross says, but those volleyball players are taller than you, except for the
Oh,
Labaro.
I could name names. Some were like I came up to her nipples.
Oh,
I gotta tell you though, if you're a masochist, probably not the worst idea.
Exactly,
because
dude.
you could just fucking go full spread eagle and they'll come up and spike your fucking beanbag, right?
And Giorgio can
100%.
dominate them, and they like that as well because of the height.
yeah,
like,
you climb on a ladder naked, just kind of get over it, and
Yeah.
Well, no, it's more like I climb up their legs. It's like
yeah, he's
the
climbing
drill.
the tree.
Speaking of
it's a great
dominating, the Americans are dominating the World Baseball Classic.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
In the
We
finals
beat Cuba
against
like 90-0 yesterday, and then Trey Turner hit a fucking grand slam on Venezuela. We wiped them out too.
we were down. That was in the eighth
Yeah.
inning. That was a dramatic
It's-
comeback.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people, it's a good conversation, honestly, because a lot of people are questioning whether or not superstars should be playing in the first place. Jose Altuve is out for 2 months now with a broken hand.
Yep.
From an injury. Who else?
Edwin Diaz is out for the year.
Edwin Diaz is out for the year, but that was celebratory.
That was a freak
after
accident.
the game was over. But still,
Arenado got hit, but he's okay.
yeah. So there is a risk involved, right? But people are like, it's not worth it to do this and blah blah blah. I think there's a couple of points to be made. One, the Japan versus Korea game, South Korea.
Yep.
63 million people watched it. More people than have ever watched a baseball game ever in the history of human beings.
And we saw,
watched
so
that game.
we're in the game in Miami. We sold out down there, and of seltzer, Hard AF seltzers in the stadium, and they got it back for
the
yesterday's
shittiest
game.
attendance they've had so far was the Israel game, and still 22,000 people showed up. to watch
Correct.
that.
Which
And the games
doubles
have
a
been
Marlins game.
Yes, and it's a blast.
Yeah.
The games have been a blast.
They have enough Israeli baseball players.
Well,
That was
they-
the
they
shocking
kind of,
thing to
they
me
kind
as
of
well.
Fudged,
I mean, just Jewish. If you're Jewish, you
Yeah,
can
Jock
play.
Peterson played for the Israeli team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
But Randy Arozarena's playing for Mexico, and that motherfucker's Dominican.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The Mexican president gave him Mexican citizenship so he could play for them
Yeah.
in the World Baseball Classic.
he should've.
and like Team Italy is a bunch of like dudes from Philly.
Dude, I love
who
this.
were like, yeah, my grandpa's Italian. Yeah.
Yeah.
People that
This is
say
Mike Piazza's
gabagool.
rolling out.
Mike Piazza
Fuck
did
yeah.
play for Team Italy in the first World Baseball
he
Classic,
did, yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like the ratings for this have been incredible,
Yep.
and you can see how excited everybody is to play for their country.
Let's just make this baseball.
That's what it kind of feels like, dude. Is it weird when I watch it? That's kind of what it feels like.
I think there should be a much bigger event. I think there should be a baseball World Cup that lasts for like a fucking month.
Here's what you
The
should
same
do.
way that, soccer does it.
Here's what you should do. Fuck Team USA. Regionalize the United States.
So like
goes
the
south.
Little League World Series?
Yes.
Yeah. That's not bad. It's not bad. These games have been a blast. And look, if you've
So you
watched
just
them,
play, there's no more teams
Texas.
that are no free agency. You just play for wherever you came from.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, make actually baseball day? That'd be incredible. Yeah. But even just if it's just for the event, you know what I mean? You do you just create regions in the United States. Obviously, you slapping Florida and Georgia together is going to be dominant. California, California, Nevada is going to be
Florida too, yeah.
fucking insane.
Hawaii's usually a wagon.
Texas is going to be nuts. But I mean, if you want more teams and more like crazy competition, because it does suck for, I know the Dominican Republic and Venezuela and even Cuba have like a high per capita of insane players they produce per population.
What about Curacao?
Yeah.
But like Curacao is Denmark.
Yeah. There's still only like 40 fucking people on that island,
right?
Of Hispaniola. Yeah, but it's like the other point is that baseball's made great efforts, as we've seen with the pitch clock and all this other bullshit, to shorten the game. And I've said this for years now, as this conversation's been going on. If you have a product and people aren't engaging with it, selling them less of the product is not the solution to that. That's fucking stupid. People aren't upset that games last 3 hours because the average NFL game is 3.5 hours.
College football's
4 goddamn hours. It's 3:45, but whatever. It's closer.
That's not the issue ever. Yeah.
The issue is stakes. There have to be stakes. 162 games is a lot of games. I'll give you that. And not everybody's going to care about every single game. But Major League Baseball should have spent money on a marketing department that said that, and then feed that through MLB Network, where you're having your on-air commentators start shit between teams and players, like fucking professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the big matchup is like, so we're going to opening day for the Marlins. Sandy Alcantara and fucking Max Scherzer are going head-to-head. Everybody's going to watch that game. Everybody will watch that game. Whether they go to it or not, they'll at least be curious about how it went, because those are two of the best pitchers in baseball.
I'll be there. I probably won't watch the game.
It's not hard. It is not hard to fucking make this shit exciting.
Yeah. And another point I will say is that, this shortening, you're right about it's game time. People don't actually care about game time, and it drives me insane when they try to make that argument. However, one thing that might work out pretty well is stolen bases are way fucking up.
Not just the amount, but the rate of success is about 80% league-wide. 80% for an individual would be Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Right? So now everybody's just a Hall of Fame base.
They also made the bases the size of a minivan, right?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
huge.
So people are going to be, if you're on first base, unless you're like Matt Olson or some fucking ent like that, like you're going to be running.
But the consensus isn't that the bases are what's at fault. It's the clock and being able to time the pitcher now, because they only have a certain amount of throwovers and stuff like that. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see how much it's used this year. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see if some guys get hurt stealing bases and if they pull them back, because Acuna is one of those guys that wants to run every single time he's on base.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want that? Maybe, maybe not. Right? Under the new rules, if he's able to time the pitcher well, I mean, he's probably going to be all right? But every time you slide going fucking 20 miles per hour, which, by the way, is how fast that motherfucker runs, there's a potential for injury every single time.
Which is why you're seeing those
mittens?
those oven mitts,
mitts, yeah.
which I think are fucking gay.
He should be wearing 2 oven mitts and then 2 on his legs as well.
I agree.
Because that dude's made a
It actually just needs to be like the Naked Gun condom button oven mitt. You know what I mean? Just the body condom.
We'll close out here with UFC. Giorgio Usman fought over the weekend.
Which one?
What'd you think, dude? What'd you think of the fight?
Amazing fight. Usman obviously a little gun shy. I mean, you have that with every fighter. Anyone who gets knocked out, it's going to be a little bit gun shy and a little bit weary in that next fight. I think Leon gained the confidence from that knockout, which really put him into a championship level and knew that he could compete with Usman. Close fight. I think I gave 4 of the rounds to Leon, or 3 of the rounds to Leon. One of them tied where he grabbed the cage, and 1 to Usman.
Yeah, he got a point deducted.
But I think
But he probably won 4
I think the
rounds.
decision was correct.
Yeah, Leon
so
won.
what this tells you, and looking at, and I've been thinking about this as far as champions go for a while. You see these champions go on long reigns, or you're wondering who's going to be the person to finally take them out, and they can get up, and especially for Usman, 1 to 2 fights a year. No matter the damage is on the body, no matter what's going on, they get you in a training camp, they get you on a cycle, they can get you to perform for 25 minutes twice a year. I don't see Usman coming back the gauntlet through the challengers, through the contenders. There's a lot of young blood in that weight class.
He has to
The
walk
dude walks
backwards
downstairs. So, like, I don't think, like, an amazing run.
Jinx.
I would like to see him. Dan brought this up earlier, possibly like a retirement fight with Stephen Thompson, someone else around the same age who
Just
has
him
a
and Wonder
name.
Boy, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it'd be an amazing fight, and like just take your hat off to him because like an amazing human, a great dad, does it great for the sport. Just who was a wonderful champion. I think it's Rocky's time now, and I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does defending it against Colby, probably the first, and then against these plethora of young comers like Rachmanov and Chimaev.
I have a conspiracy
Bailey.
theory, though. I think they're giving Colby the title shot after not fighting for a year and a half because they want him to drop the lawsuit against Jorge.
I buy into that, actually.
Isn't Jorge out, though? He fought.
No, he's
Jorge's fighting,
He's fighting
Gilbert
in
Burns.
3 weeks, right?
But this is his last fight with UFC, right? Contractually speaking.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I have to look, and I'm not
Is he?
super
So
sure.
he's at 287.
He's doing a lot of promotion.
We should go to that. It's April 8th in Miami.
It's
We
the
should
week
go back.
after, yeah. It's the week after.
Yeah, I mean, Colby, he the whole lawsuit is based on head trauma, right?
Right.
Which you can't really claim you have if you're going to go into a cage to fight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're going to have to negotiate something.
Well, I
Because
guess when you look at it, the lawsuit and what he'll probably get, he's not going to get pay-per-view points, but maybe they do. Maybe they do as the first-time challenger. They sprinkle Colby some pay-per-view points.
He hasn't beaten anybody in the top 10.
But there's no better number one contender than
all.
Colby. Like, as much as you don't like the guy, as much as you hate his antics, he's a damn good fighter.
Leon Edwards had to win 12 straight
fights.
fights to get a title shot. Colby has gotten 3 title shots in his last 5 fights, and he hasn't beaten anyone in the top 10.
Come on, Dan.
He just hasn't.
You're having talking points right now. You know he's a damn good fighter. You know he's probably the clearest number one contender in any weight class that's there. He couldn't beat Usman. Amazing fights with him.
Okay.
It took him
He
up
beat,
during
he
some of his
beat
points.
Masvidal. That's his best win. Who's his best win besides that? RDA?
RDA is no slouch.
the thing, though, with Covington is he's a personality. And they need it, man. I mean, they're still talking about Masvidal, Covington.
His entire personality is based on another human being.
Who? Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Look, it sells tickets.
Does it?
Sells tickets. Sure does.
It
Everybody
does.
watches him.
Go ahead and look at Colby's pay-per-view record. It's not great.
Well, Dan, you know he's not a main event in the pay-per-view. He's not the biggest draw in whatever.
No,
pay-per-view. So it's
'cause he's
hard-
too
it's hard
small.
to direct those numbers.
Yeah.
You also could
170?
just be milking
170
Colby for the rest of his got. You know,
It's been
like,
a rough year.
For who?
For the UFC, the last calendar year has been kind of rough. They
I
lost.
think that's some amazing
Yeah,
fights.
it's been rough. They lost. Adesanya lost his belt.
Yep.
Which is not great because he was a superstar.
Yeah, but he was kind of boring.
He was boring, but
And
marketing
people like
wise, he was
Pereira.
one of the guys making more marketing dollars than anybody else in UFC.
Stop.
And they run it.
Stylebender.
They run it back with Pereira, and Pereira's a superstar in his own right now because he's apparently Izzy's like kryptonite.
It
And he's
doesn't-
like a giant fucking like beast.
It doesn't feel like people are in any way nearly as excited about Pereira as they were about Israel.
They like
Adesanya.
his one-punch power. I do hear people talk about that. And I don't know if that's like thanks to Joe Rogan or thanks to some other people. He had this comment, this guy's made of granite, which he basically is. And he has the Francis Ngannou sleeping power in his hands. Obviously terrible on the mic. He's really respectful.
Well, he can't speak English.
Yeah.
He's also a really nice guy, which makes it that much worse. Like when you're putting people to sleep and you have knees like he had, flying knees like he has, you really want to be the villain, and he's not.
You don't need to speak English, all right? Not to dive into the realm of fiction here, but fucking.
I must break you.
Yeah, I must
That's it.
break. That's all you
know
got
how to say. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
learn a couple of shit talking phrases.
that's what
and
Chimaev
it.
has done.
That's how he
right?
learned to play.
Chimaev
speaking,
just
yeah.
goes, I smeesh.
But they lost Usman as a title holder.
Usman's not really a star though.
They lost all the Nigerians.
Yeah, I mean,
Ngannou is gone.
Ngannou-
Right,
was
they
out of
they
the-
fucked up when they had 3 kind of African champions. They should have just went to Africa and done like an entire pay-per-view.
So thought
they
about
should
it.
have done
Yeah.
a fucking
Done like a
ultimate-
Rumble in the
They should have done an
Jungle. Yeah.
Ultimate
Yes.
Fighter out there.
Yeah.
like a whole season of it. And
I
then
like the Ultimate Fighter that's now.
John Jones coming back was great, but he's going to run through the heavyweight division. And
He's going to
fucking-
fight Stipe, and I don't even think he's going to fight after that, really.
He may not because it's going to be fucking boring. Unless Francis Ngannou somehow they figure out. Maybe he'll fight this one last time.
Brock
with-
Lesnar.
No, Brock Lesnar's like 75 years
Jack
old
him up on steroids.
now.
Won't help.
John Jones would beat the fucking brakes off of Brock Lesnar. But Yeah, maybe he
Hulk
fights
Hogan.
Maybe he fights Stipe and then makes some comment about how, came I saw, I conquered him out.
There's some
and then
young
go
guys.
and then go do a private raise. Go to fucking the Paul brothers and have them fucking do promotion for a fight between Francis Ngannou and John Jones, and I would watch the fuck out of that.
Well, they own the PFL now, so it could happen.
I would pay $100 for that
I don't think
paper.
they own it.
ESPN owns the PFL.
Yeah.
Jake Paul's now an owner in it, by the way.
Like a very small owner.
Either way.
Yeah,
Not-
Get
not-
him in there.
Either way, you can make it. You got the infrastructure connects at this point to set up that pay-per-view because they've done it before. They did it with Showtime with Mayweather
Yeah.
too.
I mean-
So it's like I'm just saying, you don't need the UFC to make an Ngannou Francis or an Ngannou John Jones fight at heavyweight happen now, and everybody would watch that shit.
The best fight though this weekend was
Justin
Fiziev and Justin Gaethje, because Justin Gaethje, when he's not fighting like Habib or one of the guys
Charles
that can take him
Oliveira.
down, it's
He's
the
a
most
fucking-
it's the most exciting fight there is.
He's
Like,
a fucking pit bull, man. I
He's
like watching that dude fight.
he says he likes to get into car crashes for fights, and he always delivers. Like
I mean,
when
when
it's
you think about that,
another
like-
striker, he just. I mean, you can cash it as like one of the fight of the years.
That's his realm. That's where he wants to take you. He wants it to be a bloody fight out, shoot him out battle because he knows he's coming out on top. He's got the world's strongest chin, and those low calf kicks. He comes from so close. You don't know if he's coming with a punch
And he threw
or
a
he's coming with
jab.
kick. Yeah,
He
his jab's
finally
getting
threw a
better. Trevor
jab.
Whitman is really doing magic with this man. He's had a little hard time recently with Rose and Usman, everyone kind of losing, but Trevor Whitman is just an amazing coach. And
But I mean, once Gaethje, his next fight, just keep giving him entertaining fights. I mean, him and Poirier would be good. If Conor beats Chandler, which he will, they should just do Gaethje Conor.
that could be a great fight for Justin.
I know the UFC sure wants Conor back. Holy
They're
shit.
doing
Well,
everything
he's
in
come
their
back.
camp.
He needs like fucking 5 months to get ready.
That's what the Ultimate Fighter's for.
By-
So they can
by
watch
get
him.
ready, I
Yeah.
mean
They want him
Pass the
like
drug
on
test.
a
Yeah.
leash.
Yes.
So they'd be like, okay, Connor, like you're gonna promote this, you're gonna do everything for us. We're gonna like put a little eye over you.
gotta get off the
and we're gonna give
steroids,
you
you
the most
gotta get off the
hittable
juice.
man.
I still feel like lightweight is the strongest division.
It is.
Oh,
I mean,
is.
look at this, man. These fucking
It's like 50
Islam, fucking Oliveira, Poirier, Gaethje, Michael Chandler's in that division. God damn.
Faziz.
I
You've
mean,
got
You can go
Hooker.
50 deep and it's loaded.
yeah.
Even like
Jazukian,
a Drew Dober, like is
Drew Dober's top 20 now, right? Or not even?
Drew Dober versus Gaethje would be awesome.
No, it wouldn't. He'd run through him.
No, it would just be fun.
It'd
Yeah,
be
it
fun to
would,
watch
but
them beat
Gaethje
the
would-
shit out of
would
They
them.
would beat the shit out of each
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
It'd be fun. Last but not least here, what do you think about Jeff Molina here? We've got the first ever bisexual UFC fighter. A video was leaked of a dude sucking his dick, and he had to come out as bi.
What's his dick look like?
Well, he's getting his dick sucked. At least he's not sucking dick. You know?
Right, but he did have to announce he was bi. Now, the interesting part
Do you?
on
Because I feel like Diplo just came out of this and he didn't announce he was bi. All he said was he'd probably had his dick sucked by a dude at some point.
Right.
So and look, come on, guys.
Yeah, everyone's a little gay, huh?
It's hard to say. That's the
Yeah.
appropriate response. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the statement from ESPN, I was not familiar that they added another letter here. This is now LGBTQIA. What does the A stand for?
Asexual.
What the fuck does that mean?
You don't like anything.
AIDS.
Oh my god, dude! Do we have to announce that to the world?
No, you could be asexual. There's plenty of asexual people. They just, they actually get more done. You can get more accomplished because you don't have sex.
Aaron
But
Rodgers
do you have to
is
tell
asexual.
anybody?
Yes.
You can just be it. You don't have to tell anyone.
No,
Just
you
be it.
gotta have some
Does
type
it
of
here?
clout,
So you know that whole tree falls in the wood thing. If you have a mental illness and you don't tell everybody about it, do you really have it?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Is that a mental illness? If you just don't have sex,
Yes.
that's just. I
Asexuality,
think it's
yeah.
just I guess maybe you're.
Yeah, I mean,
low
Aaron
T,
Rodgers isn't the
maybe.
perfect
It is
poster boy for it,
the
but
biological purpose of all life is to replicate itself. So yes, it is a mental illness.
I don't want to have kids,
I know you don't.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
but I like
Either
to
way,
fuck.
though, if
But
you are
you're still
asexual,
satiating the urge itself, right? Like the biological urge part of it is the mechanical part of
It's
it. Whether
still
you want
fucking.
kids is circumstantial.
Yeah. Yeah.
your id and your ego are battling it out. These
sure
people
are.
lack the id part.
Yeah.
Do you
your-
think
your
he
id's a
switches over to
fucking queer,
dudes
man.
at one point? Do you think Delco switches over to dudes at one point?
no.
No, I can appreciate a man's body without having sex.
Maybe in
For now.
maybe in the Thunderdome if he's got to dominate somebody. I think so. Taking him from the level he's at now up to my level of being going out and murdering people, I think would be pretty easy.
Okay.
And also, like when I was at the swinger club, dude was rock hard right in front of me and made me soft. So I can tell you, not gonna happen.
His hard dick made your dick soft.
Yeah.
Dude, he fucking dick flexed you?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You allowed that to
flexed you.
happen?
You should have got hard to
Are
show
you
him
fucking
up.
kidding me?
Yeah, dude. You got to get even harder.
I didn't prepare. I should have taken some performance enhancing drugs.
BlueChew.com, promo code Drinkin Bros. It's free.
I think
All you
we're
have to do
gonna
is pay for $5
We're
for
gonna
shipping.
suspend you for a week
Yeah, dude.
until you get your dick working.
You should have gotten
My
harder.
dick worked fine. It was just like it was like right by me. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Wait, how close did it get?
When
He
was
touched it.
Foot and a half.
I didn't touch it.
Just reach over and
Bro,
hang
you
something
touched
on
it. Quit
Yeah.
lying.
But like I'm with my girl, he was with his girl, and then when he would pull out, it would just be like right there, and I was just like, nah, I can't do this.
Was it
You,
wet?
and you went to college.
Yeah, I
right?
was waiting.
You were in a fucking fraternity. How many dicks have you been that close to in your
I
life?
haven't been close to that many dicks.
I've seen a lot.
Really?
I saw a lot of dick in a fraternity. I can't say it came within arm's reach necessarily.
You never fucking double teamed a girl?
No.
Oh my god. What did you
What
guys
did you
even
guys
do in
do
college?
in your frat?
Bob, what happened down there?
Played a lot of FIFA.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've definitely been in the room when all three of us were having sex at the same time with our girlfriends or
That's in
whatever.
arm's reach.
What?
That's within arm's reach.
I guess so. They were like shag sheets up and shit like that.
I guess
you know what I mean?
the
Like,
foursome was the first time I double teamed a girl, so that was last Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. We'll end the show on that. I don't think there's a better way to go out than on a foursome these days. So super proud of you on that one. And way
It's
to go.
nothing worse than an Irishman doing dom talk.
Yeah.
That really makes you.
Did you do an accent?
He did.
The guy was Irish.
The guy was Irish.
Oh, I can't deal with that.
That's what he said.
That's like, there's a lot of circumstances.
I
There's
can't-
country
that's what he
music in the
said.
background.
I can't. That and Australian accents, I just can't take it
By the way,
seriously.
uncut too, probably, right?
He was uncut.
Yeah.
An uncut gem.
Yeah, Uncut Jones. He was uncirced.
Better.
Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. You can just click a 5-inch or a 5-star and then leave a review there. You're good to go. No reviews.
Certainly was not 5 inches.
necessary. With longer?
Oh, it was massive.
What are you talking?
Probably like 9.
Jesus Christ. A nueve, huh?
There's a hearty effort size around.
Who knew the Irish could pack it like that?
I didn't either. The luck of the Irish. My God, man.
Dicks are getting bigger.
They sure are. They sure are, but hearts are getting smaller. Show some love to the people around you this weekend. Also, bet with us or against us on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros will double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. For D'Anthony Holloway, Delco Dan, Hot Bob, Papa Giorgio, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Monday Morning Recap. Good morning, everyone.